Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Thank you for calling. Thank you for watching Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is to be used when you see it, but it is originally created for Monday, February 21st. For those of you that follow along regularly, we will be building upon the weekly that just happened yesterday. It felt like a very specific kind of situation. So I'm not sure how these cards are going to play out this week. And I don't know if it pertains to everyone, but I felt like the cards were really describing something very specific. I mean, even though this is a collective reading, you may all experience sort of the same feelings or situations just around different people, or I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work. It's very strange. So we'll see what the cards give us this today. If you're interested in seeing the Sunday reading, it will be down in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this reading, and that's the energy that underpins these cards that go through the week, okay? Anybody that's new, please check out the drop-down menu and read the instructions down there. That's kind of how to find me, what decks I'm using. If you're interested in booking a private reading, how to go about doing so, all of that stuff is there for you. So, and please leave a question or comment, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button. It all greatly helps me. Even if you're not going to stay and subscribe, you can just, if you enjoy the content, please hit that thumbs up button. All right, so let's see what the card is for today for the beginning of the week. We're underpinning with, I don't want to say anything. Let me not call that energy to the reading just yet. Let me just see what the cards give us before I say too much about yesterday's reading. Okay, 9 of Air. So, this is in line with yesterday's. I have a feeling this reading is, I don't know if this is going to be, I'm going to sound a little crazy here, guys, but I don't know if this is going to be specific for the people that see it over time. This feels like a very specific situation to me. Yesterday's card, if you reference the Sunday reading, was the moon. And the moon is major arcana, meaning it's going to be a rather big event, or it's going to have a large impact. Major arcana cards represent that, right? And so we're kicking off the week with the moon underneath this 9 of Air. Right? 9 of Air is the 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is about nightmares, false, sort of realities, anxiety, worries, fears, and sometimes they're not real, right? But sometimes they are. That's the thing. And what do they call the 9 of Air? Danger. Wow. Get it, bitch. Okay, so I feel like somebody, whoever it is that's watching this, or whoever this reading is for, or this week might be for, I'm not exactly sure. It could be for all of you. It could be for none of you. It could be for me even. I don't even know. But it feels like when you see the 9 of Swords is about anxiety, worry, fear. And it's not necessarily a good thing. It's like lack of sleep, needless worry. The one good thing about 9s is it's about a personal completion, right? Where we're letting go of something that's no longer serving us. Air is that element of the mind or communication, our thoughts. If we're stuck in a pattern of negative thinking, and with that moon underpinning this from yesterday's reading, right? The moon is very much emotional. It's very much about dimly lit pathways that we need to follow or trust our own intuition, our own subconscious, our own gut, our own feelings around a situation. And those feelings are oftentimes, when associated with the moon, confusing, uncomfortable, challenging. But the moon teaches us too. The moon's not there to harm us, right? The moon is there to kind of give us the more subtle signals. Now, this 9 of Air is like not so subtle. This is like straight up, shit ain't right? And we can feel it. And whether it's within us and within our own thoughts, or it's within a situation where we're feeling it through that moon internally, and it's manifesting in our thoughts as this card danger, there is something going on. And the reason why I say this, and I don't, I hate to give out sort of worrisome readings. That's not my thing. I'm not like Mr. Be on the lookout guy, but this is feeling like a little bit alarmist. Like I need to call this out for whoever's dealing with this, maybe. We see in the midweek from yesterday's reading the Seven of Swords, which is, they call it action, but that card is about betrayal, lying, cheating, truth not being revealed. It can be lying by omission, but it's usually fairly significant. It can be about thievery, right? Being robbed in some way or taken advantage of. So when we have this Nine of Air leading us with the moon underpinning it, this feels to me like something in our gut is not right, and something that's transforming or transferring to our thoughts and causing us undue anxiety. It's interesting too that we have these cannonballs like shooting off into the sky, or at least that's what it looks like to me. There may be signals, warnings in our brain. Now, sometimes the Nine of Swords can indicate like overreacting or over worrying, and it's not necessarily as needed or as worrisome as we're giving it so much attention to. But with that moon underpinning it, it feels like emotionally we're also connected to this too. And so this could be a very hard time for whoever this reading might be for, or whatever you might be going through. Right? Now, for those of you that watch regularly, if you're not associating with this reading, that's okay. It just means it's not your reading this time, and you don't have to feel any of this stuff. But I do feel like something is up. Something in the milk is not clean. I said it yesterday. It's like something in the sauce doesn't taste right, and we know it, and we can't put our finger on it just yet. That's the confusion of the moon. That's the trust of our intuition, and that's the confusion in the mentality of the Nine of Air that brings about this like sort of red flag danger kind of feeling. Like we're like something is right, not right. Something is not connecting in the way we intuitively feel it should. And whether that's within us or within a situation or within a partner or within a family member, something is off. And that's the best way I can describe this. I don't like to give out negative readings, but we want to be aware also if things are maybe not working in our favor or are going to be challenging for us, we may, need to look at that, right? And we need to be aware of that so that we can handle it in the best way possible. One thing, like I said earlier, is nines indicate us coming to a completion with this, right? So at some point, we're going to be able to release all of this and let it go, or be free of the fraught, the worry, the nightmares, the disbelief even. A Nine of Air can be also about the sort of like, I can't believe they did that, kind of energy, right? But to me, this feels like everything is, how do I want to say this, still suspect at this moment, because that moon sits underneath it. We don't fully see exactly clearly. It's like we're feeling it. We're starting to begin to think it. By midweek, when we see that Seven of Swords, we're going to see exactly what we're thinking may be the case, is my feeling. And this is weird for me because I don't normally give readings like this. So you guys are going to have to either respond, those of you that are watching, if any of this makes sense to you. Even if you're a new viewer, please leave me a comment if this is your reading, because it feels very specific. And usually, because these are all sign conscious, like collective reading, I don't want to assume that we're all going through some sort of struggle right now, but maybe we are. I don't know. You know what I am going to do, just because I'm a nosy bitch? I'm going to run a few clarifiers on the Nine of Air. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do this today. So please clarify this Nine of Air. And I'm going to do this with my mini Rider-Waite, because Rider-Waite is a straight up answer kind of deck. Rider-Waite always gives it to us the way we need it. Okay. On this Nine of Air, we've got Seven of Cups, which is emotional confusion. That would tie into the moon. The Four of Swords. This is about getting clarity away from this Nine of Swords, right? The Nine of Swords would indicate fear, worry, a lot of unneeded stuff. This is the antithesis of that. This is about going inward, shutting out the outside voices, finding that clarity, listening to that moon, even though that moon might be emotional, right? And we get a little bit of confusion and clouds from the Seven of Cups. It's sort of like the choice is here and we're not sure which one to choose. Does that make sense? And so again, we see another seven, and in yesterday's weekly, we had 7 and 7 as the two. We had the 7 of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles, I believe. So now we're seeing the 7 of Cups, which is this emotional confusion. I mean, if we were in Vegas, I'd be all for 777. But in this situation, I'm not all for it, if that makes any sense at all. The 4 of Swords would indicate going inward, clearing your mind, and really getting down to brass tacks with your own thoughts about the situation and finding that clarity. Try not to allow yourself, it's almost like, feels like it's fighting against the 7 of Cups, and not fighting against, but it is the answer to the 7 of Cups and that 9 of Swords, right? And then the last card is going to be the 6 of Swords. So this is about moving to calmer waters, calmer thoughts, clearer mind, right? Moving to a more peaceful state and the emotions that we're traveling over. So that emotional volatility that we feel with that moon underneath, whoever this is for, or what, you know, I'm not sure who this is for, but, and the emotional confusion that we see in that 7 of Cups, we will break free of that. That's what that 4 of Swords and 6 of Swords indicates to me, is that it's going to take a little work on our part. And remember that advice from a cat card from yesterday, which it applies to the entire week, is we want to kind of keep our truth to ourselves and release that truth only when it's right for us. Does that make sense? So if we are doing some sort of, you know, emotionally figuring out, sensing and clearing out our own brain around something that just does not feel right, give yourself that time. You don't have to reveal everything all at once or tell the other party or the situation exactly where you're at with them, because it could be more disruptive than need be. It could cause you more confusion, more pain, more emotional upheaval than you need. The 4 and the 6 indicate that most of us that this reading pertains to are going to be smart about this. Be sly. Go inward. Use your own thoughts. You know, like, think about your thoughts and pay attention to what they're telling you, how they're informing you, and how your feelings are informing you. Clean that shit up, basically. You know what I'm saying? And then move on. Like, let the emotions mellow, and then we move forward with clearer, more, I don't want to say self-centered, because that's always usually a bad term, but I feel like more self-preserved thoughts for ourselves. Now let's see what the Seeker Journeys card is, Seeker's Oracle. Cause and effect. She's quite interesting to me. Look at her 7th chakra is just blowing the fuck up. Like, her knowing is on fire. Excuse my language, guys. It's Pisces season. I can swear like a trucker. I don't give a shit. What I love about her is she's connected to nature. She's very much connected to nature. And yesterday's stone was the nature stone, right? And I'm telling you that that nature stone was about being connected to our own true nature within the nature of a situation that may not be to our advantage, or that might be lying to us, or not making, you know, not being honest to ourselves. This woman here is about cause and effect. She's inward. She is got her eyes closed. Her 3rd eye is open. Her crown chakra is live, and her knowingness is popping. Do you see that? She's also got this light around her. She's protected, and she knows this, right? She's keeping her answers to herself, similar to that 4 of Swords card, which is about going inward, clearing one's mind and getting centered around this, and understanding the cause and effect of when we say things, what we say, how we say it, can set off a chain of events that can go either really poorly or that can go very well. And when I think of that advice of a cat for this week, we may not want to say anything just yet. Let's read cause and effect and see what her story is. So weird to me that this feels very specific. Cause and effect. For every action, there is an equivalent reaction. Every cause results in an effect. The cause is what makes an event happen. The event is the result of the cause. This is not a New Age concept. It is science. For example, a novice gardener spends hours creating a garden bed. They prepare the soil with care and then plant the seedlings they have purchased. They water them, and after reading the instructions, they fertilize the plants to keep them well nourished. Within a couple of weeks, they have a beautiful garden full of thriving plants and blooms. What if the novice gardener made different choices? What if they did not prepare the soil? What if they did not water the plants? What if they didn't read the instructions on the fertilizer packaging and used too much? The result would be that most of the seedlings die, and those that remain do not thrive. As a consequence of their actions, they have little to show for their investment. Our actions yield a reward and consequence to greater or lesser degree, depending on the choices we make and how we act upon them. Considering when something random occurs for no apparent reason. Consider when something random occurs for no apparent reason. Some would suggest that this proves the concept of cause and effect is flawed, but our knowledge is limited. Even the greatest scientists do not know everything. As our knowledge expands, facts and theories evolve. With that in mind, just because we do not see a cause does not mean there isn't one. The relationship between cause and effect in the random and inexplicable is just more complicated and less apparent. Everything happens for a reason, so be thoughtful when making decisions and determining your direction. Weigh the pros and cons. Be aware that everything you do will affect your future. So, again, understanding the nature of yourself within this situation is key this week. And understanding the nature of the situation and the cause and effect and what you may or may not do, what you may or may not choose. I think that the choice, because of that advice of the cat and the Four of Swords that we're seeing here today, the choice is yours to be made, but I think it needs to be made personally and quietly in the background is what I feel like these cards are trying to tell us. Let's look to the grounding stone. Okay, the grounding stone this week or for today is focus. So this focus to me is that Four of Swords. The focus is the Six of Swords. The focus is understanding where our focus is at, what we are looking at, how we are thinking about it, how stuck are we on it? Is there somebody we don't trust that we can't stop not trusting? Is there a situation we don't believe in and we can't stop not believing in it? Does that make sense? Like, is there something that we can't separate ourselves from enough to find the clarity that we need so that we can make an informed decision that serves us rather than, say, harms us or the situation or the other party involved? This focus is going to be important today. This woman, cause and effect, she is focused, she is centered, she is in her head, she is doing her work. She is checking and rechecking her thoughts, her cause and effect. If I do this, this could happen. If I do that, that could happen. Maybe do nothing at this time. And I'm not saying stay in a situation you don't trust. I'm not saying don't speak your mind. What I am saying is be mindful this week of the power of your words. Be mindful of this week of the nature of certain situations around you that may not feel right. And be mindful of how those not right feelings may be quite accurate. And if we maintain that focus and find a way through this situation, we might actually learn something about our own sort of either emotional intelligence, intuitional intelligence, our own ability to, I'm just going to be blunt, dodge a bullet in a way. I know it sounds a little dramatic, but that is your forecast for the day. Very, very interesting. I'm not sure who this is for, if it's for anybody or if anybody's relating to it, but please, if you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, share this out on Facebook and Instagram and wherever you can. I will be back tomorrow to see how these cards continue to build. And again, check out the Sunday reading if this does resonate with you in some way, shape, or form, because these readings may be for you this week. I don't know. All right, you guys, take care. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, thumbs up button, please, even if you're not going to subscribe. And if you do want to subscribe, I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you and have a good day. All right, bye-bye.